Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 3. This is Mr. Hornsby 3 show, and today, well, first off, before I talk about what I'm going to do today and why I didn't do last night's video, let me get into this video is not for kids under the age of 13 and under. This is not for kids under the age of 13, so that's out of the way. Let's get this out of a little bit more. And today I am going to be doing Mortal Kombat characters that fell from grace, and the reason why I say they fell from grace is because they started out built up so strong, like a lot of the hidden special characters from Mortal Kombat 1 through 3, and then they just became total nothing, and have become pretty much the jobbers of the Mortal Kombat universe. Now, the reason why I didn't do this video last night and why I didn't do one Wednesday. Well, Wednesday, I'm like, I'll just do one this week. And then the reason why I didn't do this one last night, because see, Wednesday what I was planning on doing was this, and then today I was going, well, Thursday I was going to do my favorite WWE theme songs, but I have a lot of them, so I had to freaking think of a way I could do that without it being too long of a video. So the reason why we didn't do it, the reason why I didn't do a video yesterday is because we were working on me and my wife were working on these belts last night. This and the Toy Biz ones, and Toy Biz ones are not on their final product yet. Still a few more things need to be done before the Toy Biz ones are done. But we did use our engraver to engrave the floral pattern that's on the frickin' Jakks versions of the big gold belt, as well as the frickin' Mattel versions of the WWE version of the World Heavyweight title. So let's get into Mortal Kombat characters that have fallen from grace and turned into complete jobbers. First one I'm going to talk about here is Reptile. Now, why do I go with Reptile first? Because Reptile was the first ever hidden character in a Mortal Kombat game. You've seen it in the first game, you've seen it in the first movie. Reptile looked like a beast. He was freaking tough to beat in the first Mortal Kombat game. Now, 2, he was still kind of good, but not as good as he was in the first game, because they made him a main character. And from 3 on, Reptile just becomes a complete freaking jobber. He even gets his body taken over by Onaga, the Shadow King. So yeah, the first one. Actually, I'm gonna go with all the special characters here, not just Reptile. Smoke, Jade, Ermac, and even Noob Saibot, and I believe Rain as well. Going with all of those characters, pretty much became jobbers after they were a hidden character in a Mortal Kombat game from 1 to 3. So they all became washed. So yeah, all the special characters is here. What I'm going to talk about. I mainly want to talk about Reptile because he was the first, he was the best, and you know all that. Next guy I'm gonna talk about is a guy I did a video on after X came out, called The Future of This Character, and this character was Kodo Khan. Now, after Shao Kahn was beaten MK9, Kodo Khan took over. He became, you know, he was built up in the comics, he was built up in his stories in Mortal Kombat X and 11. But then, after his stories ended, he was done, he was finito, he was swimming with the fishes by the end of the Aftermath pack of Mortal Kombat 11. So, you know, Shao Kahn whooped him, took him down. Even before that, he got beat by Jade and got captured, and then they had to save him, and then he got crippled, and he put him in the torture rack. I guess Shao Kahn was was imitating the Total Package Lex Luger. Took him, torture racked him, and crippled him. So, yeah. Kodo Khan, it's a shame because he had such potential. I even made the video talking about when I did the future of Kodo Khan in Mortal Kombat. I did not predict him dying. I predicted him becoming the Dragon King somehow. Like, Onaga's like, oh, this guy's a strong warrior. I should take over his body. But, you know what? We don't know if there's going to be an MK12. We don't know if Onaga's going to get put into this time frame of these Mortal Kombat games. So, there was no cliffhanger ending at the end of Mortal Kombat 11 the way there was at 9 and 10. So, we don't know if he's even going to be back. And any capacity if Mortal Kombat 12 is even happening. Unless they left a cliffhanger at the end of the Aftermath. But who knows? Because, you know, look how long it took them. It took them nearly 4 years between 10 to get 11 out. So, yeah. Alright, next up on this list is a guy I'm very disappointed is even here. He should have been one of the greatest Mortal Kombat characters ever. I was a big fan of his when MK4 came out. I enjoyed seeing him, you know, be that freaking top tier guy and, you know... In fact, I felt like he should have been the main real villain in Mortal Kombat 4. But he did get his own game with 5. And I am talking about Quan Chi. Now, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat 5. He's not in Deception. Well, he is in Conquest, but he's in the Netherrealm. And Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Quan Chi still looked awesome. Still could beat people. He could hang with the top guys. He, you know, Deception, he freaking wiped the mat with freaking Shang Tsung after they done beat up on Raiden. He wipes the mat with them, and out of nowhere, you see him in 9, or you see him in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. He's like, oh, apparently they were hinting that Shao Kahn was working for Shinnok in that game. And Quan Chi's like, oh, Shinnok's going to be very disappointed in you, Shao Kahn. And, you know, Shao Kahn's like, yeah, whatever, shut up. You know, I'll hurt you, sorcerer. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you can't take me. So, if he's that confident that Shao Kahn can't take him, and at this time Shao Kahn was still built up pretty strong, then if he was that confident that Shao Kahn could not beat him, then he was more powerful than Shao Kahn. So, when I see the state of Quan Chi in 9, 10, and 11, it's like, well, in a 9, he still looks pretty good, but 10 and 11, he's a total freaking jobber. Especially at 10, the way he gets wiped out by Scorpion, the way he gets taken down so easily numerous times in that game. It was like, oh my god, really? You put this guy at the point of him being a jobber and he'll lose to anybody. I mean, heck, if him and Kodo Khan would have fought, they'd probably have Kodo Khan beat Quan Chi, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, seeing Quan Chi at this spot, you know, where he's just so weak and he can't beat nobody, and all people try to explain, oh, yeah, well, all the energy he wasted in 9, and that made him weaker, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. What happened was, NetherRealm Studios gave up on Quan Chi, and that really upsets me, because I was a big Quan Chi fan. And I felt like he should have been the real boss in Mortal Kombat 4. But, I digress. Alright, here's another guy that fell for grace. Now, I don't feel like this guy was ever as powerful as he was made out to be in the first place. And there's only 2 characters I felt that way about. And I'm about to say both of them in back-to-back, so get that out of the way. But I don't feel like this guy was as powerful as he was built up to be. And that is Shang Tsung. Now, I'll say Mortal Kombat 1 Shang Tsung, because Mortal Kombat 1 Shang Tsung is easy to beat. 2 and 3 is a little bit harder. 5 he's pretty hard too. But, you know, what they did with him after 5, he pretty much got his butt kicked by Quan Chi. Him, Raiden, and Quan Chi could not beat Onaga the Dragon King. Raiden had to sacrifice himself to frickin' Hulk Jr. Raiden had to sacrifice himself to, you know, try to beat him, and that still didn't work. So, yeah. So, Shang Tsung, really, Mortal Kombat 1 Shang Tsung, I think, was a complete wash. And then after Mortal Kombat 5, Shang Tsung totally became total jobber. And you know what? And some odd reason he kept getting younger and younger in Mortal Kombat, because somehow he's freaking old in the first one. And then he gets younger in 2, then he gets younger in 3, then he gets younger in 4, 5, you know, etc., etc. Well, he wasn't in 4. But in 5 he's younger. 6 in Armageddon. And it's just crazy how this freaking worked out with, you know, Shang Tsung. But, you know, not to mention this guy got beat easily by Liu Kang every time he fought Liu Kang. Liu Kang would mop the floor with him. Quan Chi mopped the floor with him. Shao Kahn would mop the floor with him, but, you know. So, yeah. So, Shang Tsung right here, and I feel like he deserves to be high on this list because of the fact that he was one of the guys that were built up to be so powerful in Mortal Kombat universe, and then ended up becoming a complete freaking jobber after 5. Even in the story mode, Kung Lao just kicks the crap out of him, and that was Liu Kang's Robin. So yeah. In the story with Kung Lao, he's like, oh, he mopped through the Deadly Alliance, he took Shang Tsung out like he was nothing. So, yeah. Next up. This guy, I don't get it. Supposed to be this powerful god. Supposed to have caused all this destruction. He's supposed to be the most dangerous threat. He's even supposed to be higher than Shao Kahn in power. But yet, if you play him in Mortal Kombat 4, he's very easy to beat. Mortal Kombat 11, he gets beat by Cassie Cage as his normal. He gets beat by Johnny Cage as his normal self. Then he goes and gets beat by Cassie Cage in his normal self and Corrupted Shinnok. And I thought, well, maybe Corrupted Shinnok will put Shinnok back on the map. That did not happen because he got beat by Cassie Cage. I mean, Cassie Cage should not have been the one to beat freaking Shinnok in Mortal Kombat 11. They should have left it. In fact, I don't even think Liu Kang, as powerful as Liu Kang is, I don't think he should have been. Well, X, whatever. I don't think, even in 4, as powerful as Liu Kang is, I don't even think Liu Kang should have been able to beat him. I think it should have been Raiden in Mortal Kombat 4 beating him, and Raiden in Mortal Kombat X beating him. And look, Liu Kang, he's a very powerful character. We all know that. Now he's a god. He's the god Liu Kang now, so he's going to be even more powerful. But even as powerful as Liu Kang was, if Shinnok was supposed to be higher in power than Shao Kahn, who Liu Kang beat, and he's definitely way past Shang Tsung in power, then Liu Kang should not have been able to beat him in 4, or he shouldn't have been beat by Cage, either Cage in Mortal Kombat X. So, you know, it should have been Raiden in both of those scenarios. And you know what? You could have played up the Raiden went dark side to beat Shinnok. He got into the thing and then he came out and he just crushed Shinnok. That could have been the big story going into 11, but they decided to do it a different way. You know, they're the ones that make the games. I've never made a game in my life before. They, I guess, know what they're doing. But that would have made more sense because Cassie Cage, her and her team could barely handle Sub-Zero. And that's pretty pathetic, but you know, they could have handled Sub-Zero. Alright, next up, these are guys that started out powerful, but as they got into later games, they were kind of weakened a bit. Well, I mean, a lot of these characters are, but you know, the last two I talked about felt like were overrated characters with Shang Tsung and Shinnok. Now we're getting into some territory where these guys are not as bad off jobbers as those guys became, but James, quit interrupting the video. I know what I'm talking about. So, next up is Onaga. Now, why am I saying Onaga here? Okay. This guy was very powerful in Mortal Kombat Deception. Hard to kill. Had it not been for the Kamigogo being destroyed by Jinko, then he would not have been beaten. He would have destroyed everybody. And he was in Armageddon, and instead of him winning the Armageddon tournament, now either this is because Shao Kahn just got so much stronger in power, or what, but, you know, Onaga did not look like the Onaga from Deception and Armageddon. He was dominant. It took Raiden sacrificing himself to try to beat him, and still couldn't beat him because you had the three most powerful guys left in the planet, or in Earthrealm, or in the world, trying to stop this guy, and they couldn't handle him. He took down the Deadly Alliance, who wiped out all of Earth's defenses in 5. They beat Raiden, and those were the three most powerful guys left at the time, until they revived Shao Kahn and a bunch of other characters that were revived. Liu Kang was a zombie, so he didn't have the power he had as a human. So, the fact that he didn't win the Armageddon tournament and beat Blaze and Shao Kahn did, that says he was pretty much a placeholder until they were going to return Shao Kahn to the Mortal Kombat universe. That's what it seemed like to me. But this guy's supposed to be more powerful than Shinnok and Shao Kahn. And yet, he didn't look like he was more powerful than Shinnok or Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So, you know, the Dragon King, it's sad to say, I was a big fan of Dragon King. Maybe if they do a 12 and they build him up again to be great, that'd be fine. But, you know, he was just a placeholder for the return of Shao Kahn in Armageddon, pretty much. So, yeah. Next up, speaking of Shao Kahn, the great one himself, the King of Kings, the real King of Kings, not Triple H, Shao Kahn. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Armageddon, Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, and Mortal Kombat 9, Shao Kahn was just so powerful. So powerful. And then they bring him back in 11. I mean, he's gone in X because he got captured by the gods and Raiden beat him and all that. They bring him back. Which, honestly, I think they should have still went with Liu Kang beating Shao Kahn because, you know, they pretty much punked Liu Kang out in Mortal Kombat 9. He got killed by his own mentor, who deflected, you know, Liu Kang's own attack on him. You know, so the fact that Shao Kahn was so easy to play, you know, second fiddle to Kronika in 11 was unbelievable. I mean, how the heck? You're the man. You're Shao Kahn, and you're working for Kronika. Now, look, Kronika was very powerful, more powerful than her son, Shinnok. But, you know, I still feel like Shao Kahn should have been more resistant to working for her and all that, and, you know, should not have had an issue getting rid of, you know, Raiden himself. But, you know, it is what it is. Shao Kahn, baddest man on the planet, the real baddest man on the planet is Shao Kahn. So, anyway, yeah. And when he first met Kotal Kahn, yeah, he got a little bit of upper advantage, but in that second encounter in the Kotal Kahn story, Kotal Kahn bested him. Now, yeah, that might have showed how powerful Kotal Kahn was, but I just talked about how after that he just became a total jabroni and became a weak, pathetic fool, as Shao Kahn likes to call people. But, you know, Shao Kahn in all the other Mortal Kombat games, when he's been the top guy, was built up as very powerful. And the fact that it seemed like he wasn't as powerful as he was in 9 and 11, yeah, it might be because he was weakened because of the fact that, you know, the gods, you know, punished him, so they might have weakened his powers or something like that. But, you know, still. You put that guy totally out to fruition. And totally wasted everything. Alright, now another character. Again, this is another guy I feel is overrated, but, you know, apparently he's supposed to be so powerful. That is Goro. Now look, he's hard in Mortal Kombat X, I'll give him that. And, you know, I regretted calling him pretty easy on Mortal Kombat 4 because I had a little bit of an issue with him. But one, he is pretty easy to beat, especially if you could get Scorpion. I mean, he's a little hard in 1, 2, but not as hard as, you know, you think he'd be. Since he's supposed to be so... And the only thing that built him up, again, was the Mortal Kombat movie, Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge, which I just reviewed last week. But, you know... Goro, to me, was just a character you could beat easily. If you pick the right character, you know what to do, and you avoid his attacks, he's pretty easy to beat. I can say the same thing for the next guy I'll probably be talking about as well. But, you know... But yeah, Goro, I feel like, should have been super... Not super, but difficult enough to where even if you're spamming a spear on him and uppercutting him, shouldn't be an issue. If you do Raiden's, you know, flying charge in 4, or if you do Liu Kang's flying kick in 4, he should have been able to get out of that perfectly. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I think he was pretty tough in X. So yeah, he was kind of tough in X, but he's not as tough. He's, you know, he's tougher in X than he is the original 2 games he was in. Also, I think he's also a villain you have to fight in Shaolin Monks. I know you fight him in something. It might be Mortal Kombat vs. DC as well. I can't remember, but, you know, that's when him and Kitaro partnered up. But next up, let me talk about another guy who I feel like fell from grace and really... You know, he started out tough. He is a tough boss to beat in Mortal Kombat, any version of Mortal Kombat 3, which is Motaro. So, after 3, we don't see Motaro again till Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And, instead of having the Motaro from the 3s, we have Motaro with walking legs. He's not looking like a centaur. He's got 2 legs. They got the centaur furring on him. Upper body still looks human, but, you know, that's what they did with him in Armageddon, and I think that was really a wasted potential on, you know, any of that. So, yeah. So, and Motaro is also easy to beat in Armageddon. Once you figure out the pattern to beat him on frickin' any version of 3, it's easy. You just do the combo kick, and, you know, boom, 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 that's it. Kitaro, I had to exploit a freaking glitch to freaking beat him. And that took me when I was in my freaking, I think I was like in my early 30s when I finally beat Mortal Kombat 2. I had beaten any other Mortal Kombat game other than 2. And I was in my early 30s when I beat 2 and I figured out that freaking Sub-Zero glitch and I freaking brutalized freaking Kitaro. That's how I beat him. And then Shao Kahn, I knew a way to beat him because I kept trying with all the other characters like Raiden. That didn't work. Got Liu Kang, did the fire thing, and that worked. Which you saw me do on the frickin' trilogy boss playthrough, which I finished all the hills on that game. I went through the frickin' second hill like it was nothing with Kitaro. Then I frickin' picked Liu Kang when I got to Shao Kahn, just boom, 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 beat him. Then I got to the harder hill, which took me a little bit longer. And frickin' beat him with Liu Kang. So, yeah. Motaro really fell from graces. Another guy that was built up to be the next Liu Kang, because Liu Kang was dead, he was a zombie, and they did not use him to his full potential, was Shujinko. I think Shujinko, it's just like with the Dragon King whole thing. They were placeholders until Liu Kang and freaking Shao Kahn came back. So, yeah. Shujinko was a placeholder for Liu Kang. Onaga was a placeholder for Shao Kahn's return. So, yeah. you know. I mean, because all the power, he's the one that beat the Dragon King. Raiden couldn't beat him, you know, with the help of Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. And they were the three most powerful guys left at the time. Everybody else got wiped out by the Deadly Alliance. But he beat the Dragon King, who was supposed to be more powerful than Shao Kahn, Shinnok, and he freaking beats him. Now he's like, oh, I destroyed Kami Dogu, that's part of the reason why I beat him, but all the powers I gained because of that gift that he gave me, so that I could travel through realm to realm to get the Kami Dogu for him. So, you know, Dragon King pretty much booked his own defeat by helping Shujinko out. I know at first it's probably, oh, he's going to be my pawn. And then guess what, Shujinko? I beat you. Your gift you gave me booked your own defeat. Kind of like how people say with Kevin Sullivan, how he booked his own divorce. Onaga booked his own defeat at the hands of Shujinko. So, yeah. But then you see this guy, I believe it's 9 or X, and they just boot him out of the way like he's nothing. I think it was Sonya that did it. Now, how in the world do you build this guy up in deception? He's going to be the next Liu Kang. He's going to do it. He's going to beat Onaga. He beats Onaga. And then he becomes nothing more but a freaking joke. You don't see, I mean, in Armageddon, he's not much better. Because instead of him being the one to defeat Blaze, it ended up being Shao Kahn. But supposedly, the way they wanted the story to go, it was going to be Taven and Dagon. And I'll speak of Taven and Dagon here in a sec. And those will probably be the last guys I talk about that were overrated or fell from grace. There might be one other person, but I don't know. But, you know, so Dagon and Taven. Let's get right into those guys. Well, let me finish my shit. So, you book this guy to beat frickin' Onaga. And then you weaken both him and Onaga in Armageddon. And then he's a joke in X or 9. Where he just gets kicked out of the way by frickin' Sonya. Like, okay. Oh, why? I'll take that. So, now, let's get to Taven and Dagon. Now, I'm going to talk about Taven first. Taven and Dagon are demigods. They're supposed to be the ones that can defeat Blaze to bring balance back to the world. Which apparently doesn't matter if you're demigod, god, whatever. You're supposed to be more powerful than him. Shao Kahn found a way to win that tournament, which was built up at 9. He found a way to win that freaking tournament. He said, ah ha ha, y'all can't beat me, I'm the man. That's why I call Shao Kahn the real king of kings. But anyway, real baddest man on the planet too. I'm a big Shao Kahn fan. I love Shao Kahn. He's one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters ever. So, the fact that they were supposed to only have the power to beat Blaze. Now, unless Shao Kahn killed Taven and took Taven's power, and then went and killed Dagon and took Dagon's powers, how the heck was Shao Kahn able to win this tournament? Tiger, come on in. Tiger. Come on. So the fact that he was able to freaking beat everybody, Shao Kahn, he was on a whole nother level, I guess, in Armageddon. He must have done some training while he was trapped or hiding or whatever he was doing. Because apparently the thing they killed at the beginning of Mortal Kombat 5 was probably Reiko, stealing Shao Kahn's helmet and cape. Who knows? But apparently it was supposed to be a clone of Shao Kahn that freaking Quan Chi and Shang Tsung killed in 5. Because they were like, oh, there's only 2 people that can stand their way. Boom. Let's wipe out Shao Kahn, and then the next one was Liu Kang, which got killed easily. Which I'll probably talk about Liu Kang. I mean, the new timeline, they kind of fixed what they messed up with. But then again, you do have the issue with 9. So, yeah. Apparently, even demigods can't handle Shao Kahn, because Shao Kahn beat Taven, he beat Dagon, I guess Dagon was too worried about forming the Red Dragon or whatever at that point. Tiger, what you doing? So, yeah. So he beats him. Taven, I felt like, was possibly going to be the guy to protect the Earth after the whole Shujinko debacle. But apparently not, because, like I said, Shao Kahn won the tournament. So, alright, next up is Dagon. Now, Dagon, a lot of people want to see this guy as a villain. I bet he'd be a better villain than Quan Chi. I mean, not Quan Chi, Shinnok. I bet he'd be a better villain than Shinnok, but, you know, so Taven, so Dagon, he was like, him and Taven were meant to be one to stop Blaze, but, you know, Dagon's more worried about being evil. Taven's like, oh, gotta save the world. Dagon wants to rule it. And, you know, didn't matter in the end because Shao Kahn beat both of them, so, you know. So, yeah, them guys were built up to be very powerful in that they were built up to be the only ones that could beat Blaze, but they couldn't beat Blaze. It ended up being Shao Kahn who beat Blaze. And it came down to him and Raiden. It didn't come down to him and Taven. It didn't come down to him and Dagon. It came down to him and Raiden. Dark Raiden. Which I'm going to talk about here in a minute too. Dark Raiden. And then I'll be done. So, it comes down to... So, Taven or Dagon did not make any difference in the story mode of Mortal Kombat Armageddon. They both lost. It came down to Raiden, whose, you know, sole purpose is to defend the Earth no matter what. And then it came down to the real King of Kings, the real baddest man on the planet, Shao Kahn. And Shao Kahn got the better of that. So, I mean, Shao Kahn must have been in deep training or something, because for him to be able to win that tournament and beat Blaze, and it coming down to him and Raiden, that tells you a lot, you know. So, yeah. Shao Kahn is the man, the ultimate he is the penultimate villain in Mortal Kombat universe, period. Anyway, even though they did weaken him a bit in 11, and, you know, he did look like a punk before we knew it wasn't really Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, but we found out it wasn't really Shao Kahn, so yeah. But yeah, it was to the point to where he even gets his chance to finally wipe Raiden out. Raiden died, and Shao Kahn was the man. But, you know what? All that got changed in 9 because, you know, Raiden and them went back. And speaking of 9, they made that first part of the story in the second tournament. Shao Kahn loses to Kung Lao. Now, yes, I always make the joke Kung Lao is Robin to Liu Kang's Batman. But, you know, he lost to Kung Lao. I mean, he goes and kills Kung Lao afterward. He's like, oh, I ain't losing to you. Screw that. You know, I mean, after the match was over, he pretty much played dirty. And then Liu Kang's, man, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, bring it on. And then Liu Kang fights him. Beats him. And honestly, you know, that's pretty much the only guy that's taken it to him. I mean, Raiden, I guess, could beat him back in the day before he became this ultimate, you know, super powered villain. But, you know, I don't know if anybody, I never did do that Super Shredder versus frickin' Shao Kahn fight, did I? No. But, you know, so yeah, overall, you know, those are the guys I felt for Raiden. Now let's get to Dark Raiden. Dark Raiden, I guess, was supposed to be a more powerful version of Raiden. And he went that way so he could take down Onaga, and still failed because it had to be Shujinko to beat him. Then, you see Dark Raiden at the end of X, and then he comes into 11. He looks like he's going to be a bad mofo. Nope. He gets wiped out. He gets erased from that timeline because of Kronika. They bring back the old school Raiden that wasn't dark and evil.
And, you know, it took him having to merge with Liu Kang to beat Kronika. So that shows how powerful Kronika was. If Earth's greatest hero couldn't beat her when he had beaten Shao Kahn, who was the King of Kings, and then he beat Shinnok, who was a freaking jobber before he was a jobber. And, you know, so yeah, Dark Raiden really fell from graces. I mean, like I said, he didn't make no difference in freaking Deception. He didn't make no difference in Armageddon. He didn't make no difference in Mortal Kombat 11 because he got erased from the timeline. So, yeah. Dark Raiden went bye-bye. And it's a shame because you thought, you know, a darker side of Raiden, he'd probably be more powerful than what he was showing as a good guy. But that was not the case because Dark Raiden became erased. And then the normal Raiden had to merge with Liu Kang so Liu Kang could beat Kronika. So, anyway, it goes. Those are Mortal Kombat characters that fell for grace in the Mortal Kombat universe. I talked about the special characters that were hidden characters in 1 through 4. I talked about bosses that became freaking not even sub-bosses at some point. I talked about sub-bosses that became bosses but then became jobbers again and, you know, went below the sub-boss level. I talked about overrated gods. Whether they're demi or normal gods. I talked about chosen ones that become nothing but a jobber in the game after they were the top guy. I talked about a being that was supposed to be more powerful than the frickin' top-notch villain of the frickin' series, falling from grace as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Is there any other characters you think that were built up strong in the Mortal Kombat universe that fell from grace, aside from the characters I said? Do you feel like there's any other characters that were built up strong and then fell from grace and didn't, you know, get their proper redemption the way some characters like Liu Kang and that got to? Let me know in the comments section. Please like this video, leave, and I just said comment section, but please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornsby83, follow me on Facebook, the Mr. Hornsby83 Show, also follow my business page, Trigen Toys. I'm going to be doing a video on Trigen Toys this Monday, talking about some other things, and, you know, I would do shout-outs, but I'm pretty sure this video is a pretty long video because of how many characters I had to break down and talk about, so I'll do shout-outs next week. Catch you guys later. Peace out.